Hello, today's Walk with History is from Indiana, Pennsylvania, and we are doing the childhood home and teenage home of Jimmy Stewart. And this is where his family lived, and this is where his museum is, and this is where his statue is, and he starred in one of my favorite movies of all time, It's a Wonderful Life. So this is the temperature today in Indiana, PA, about 43 degrees. So as we are walking down Philadelphia Street to the Jimmy Stewart Museum, this is Main Street, Indiana, PA, and Jimmy Stewart worked across the street from the museum. That was his father's hardware store. But this is Main Street, Indiana, Pennsylvania, and we're going to the Jimmy Stewart Museum. This is the Jimmy Stewart statue. It's in front of the Indiana County Courthouse. It was dedicated on his 75th birthday. He was here for the dedication, but a little bit of trivia is the statue wasn't ready in time. So they actually used a reproduction that's in the museum, and we'll see it, and they put that out here, and that's what was dedicated on his birthday until the statue was ready to be finished, and then they got that here in time and put it, replaced it, and put the actual statue here and put the replica in the museum. Do you know who Harvey is?
No.
So that was a movie that Jimmy Stewart made where he saw a bunny rabbit, and this bunny rabbit was always with him as his friend. It's very patriotic, the Indiana County Courthouse. They have a lot of dedication to armed service members and people who have served in the military. Jimmy Stewart also served in the military. He was a pilot, and so it's kind of fitting that his statue is here as well as being remembered as a military service member from Indiana, Pennsylvania.
Mom,
This is what it's like to do Walk with History with your family. It looks like a replica almost of what he did George Bailey.
Yeah.
this is hollow.
Yep.
It's made of bronze.
Come on, guys.
Here we are in front of the Jimmy Stewart Museum. We're going to go in and we'll do a walk with history through the museum. So we're here on Philadelphia, and right across the street was his father's hardware store that he worked at. This is across the street from the Jimmy Stewart Museum. This is the hardware store right behind me. What would have been the hardware store. It's no longer a hardware store, but this is where Jimmy Stewart's father owned the store, and this is where he worked as a teenager. Very reminiscent of It's a Wonderful Life, Mr. Gower, hot dog, working in the drugstore. J.M. Stewart Hardware Store, started by Jimmy's grandfather, for whom the actor is named, opened in 1853. And then Jimmy's dad took it over and had it until he was 88. Unfortunately, the store was sold in 1968 for $60,000. In 1940, at 4 a.m. California time, Jimmy Stewart had just won the Academy Award for the Philadelphia story, and he got a phone call from his father saying, "I hear you won some kind of award. What was it? A plaque or something? Well, anyway, you better bring it back here, and we'll put it in the window of the store." It was there for 25 years. This is the old courthouse in Indiana, Pennsylvania. It's beautiful. It has a big golden dome on the front, and they have this very interesting historic sign behind me about an enslaved boy who was caught here by slave hunters. He was 12, and the judge in the town refused to let him go, and the slave hunters never got to take him. So very, very interesting courthouse here in the middle of Indiana, Pennsylvania. Here I am under the Indiana Theater in Indiana, Pennsylvania. This is where Jimmy Stewart probably came to the movies, and I know he did open a couple of his movies here when he came to town. It is a cute little theater. It reminds me a lot of probably what the Warner Theater looked like in Erie, PA.
North 7th Street walk sign is on to cross North 7th Street, and take your time.
So the crosswalks here in Indiana, Pennsylvania have Jimmy Stewart talking, and they tell you what street you're crossing. So that just said this is Jimmy Stewart and you're crossing 7th Street. So that's very... So here I am walking up 7th Street to Jimmy Stewart's home, up that hill. Again, it's called Vinegar Hill. And his house is this one here with the chimney. That's Jimmy Stewart's home. And it was his home all the way through when he became an actor. When he was in the military, he'd come home on leave, he'd go to that house and have dinner, he'd stay there. That's where his bedroom was. That's where, this was his home.
That's your home! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
And Jimmy Stewart was always salt of the earth person. I follow a Turner Classic Movies film page, and a lady on there happened to speak to him on the phone one day and taught him how to use the fax machine, because he had never used a fax machine before. So always just really salt of the earth, great guy. And this is where he grew up. So this is where he learned those values. Again, here we are just about to go up Vinegar Hill, right by Jimmy Stewart's house. This is where it's Jimmy Stewart Boulevard. Right behind me up there on the sign, Jimmy Stewart Boulevard. So this is at the landing right before you walk up the steps to Jimmy Stewart's home. And that's where Jimmy Stewart lived until he was married. And his family was there as well. But this is a marker dedicated to Jimmy Stewart. And this hill and how it got its name, Vinegar Hill. But also this talks about Jimmy Stewart's military career and flew 20 combat missions during World War II. So he also retired as a brigadier general. So this town gives a lot of love to its hometown hero, Jimmy Stewart. Here we get to you come like right to his front porch. It's crazy. Right to his house. Once you get up those steps, you are like right in front of his home. I'm on Jimmy Stewart's porch. He stood right here, and I'm here too. Okay, and I'm off. There were some trees over here, if you saw the pictures that I took from the museum. But this is his home. I have no idea what bedroom was his. But this is the view from on top of this hill that he could probably have looked out any time. He came home. And this is the view down 7th Street to Philadelphia Avenue. So this is on the corner by Jimmy Stewart's home. This is, it says Jimmy Stewart. And he's on North 7th Street. So his house is just one, basically, house block away. And it says Jimmy Stewart. So this house is right behind me, right here. That's his home. This has been such a great day. Look at that little, like, planter on the side of the house by the door. Isn't that neat?
Oh, yeah. Maddie, what do you think? Good? What was your favorite part today, Jen?
I jumped onto his porch.
That was your favorite part?
I stood on Jimmy Stewart's porch.
One free thing you could do?
That was my favorite part. I think seeing his hometown, walking in his steps, knowing that he walked down the hill to the hardware store to go to work. It was just awesome to be a part of history, walk in someone's footsteps that I actually admire and look up to. So, yeah, it was great.
The fool flew all the way up here in a blizzard.
Harry, how about your Banford in New York?
Oh, I left right in the middle of it. As soon as I got Mary's telegram. Good idea, Ernie. A toast. To my big brother, George, the richest man in town. That's a Christmas present from a very dear friend of mine.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
That's right. That's right. Attaboy, Fred.